Hello and welcome to another episode of A Bright Side. Today, we're visiting Bodmin Keep, so let's go check it out. There's a memorial here, erected by the D.C.L.I, Duke of Cornwall Light Infantry, to their glorious dead. 255 officers, 4,027 other ranks. Crikey, between 1914 and 1919. There's quite a few Cornishmen that are no longer with us. There is the keep. So this is quite a nice sort of area, isn't it? It's kind of all, you've got all the sort of areas, you've got the dates and stuff like that. So the D.C.L.I, Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, that isn't a thing anymore, is it?
No, so that was the home regiment for Cornwall.
Yep.
It then went on to become the Somerset and Cornwall Light Infantry.
Yep.
And now it would be considered the Rifles. So regiments merged and then merged again. So now there isn't a D.C.L.I or an S.D.L.I. Now the local regiment would be the Rifles.
A little bit of information regarding the war memorial, the quite impressive war memorial behind us. In fact, it says there, the impressive war memorial in front of the keep was raised by the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry to commemorate the 4,282 men of this regiment killed in the First World War. It was unveiled to the people of Bodmin on the 17th of July 1924 by the Colonel-in-Chief of the regiment. And there is that same statue, wreaths piled high on the newly unveiled memorial in 1924. So there we go. A little plaque here. This is 1859 because of the aggressive foreign policy pursued by Napoleon III. Britain felt herself under threat of invasion by France. This keep was built in that year. So 1859, okay. On land donated by the town of Bodmin. Interesting. So 1859, this keep dates back to. And what have we got on this one? This is in honour of the 3,720 men of the 29th Infantry Division, US Army, killed in battle from the 6th of June, so obviously Normandy, D-Day. 1944 to victory in Europe, May 8th, 1945. Alright, a little bit more information specific to the keep. It says Bodmin Keep was built in 1859 as the headquarters and stores for the Cornwall militia. Its construction was part of a major military building programme across the country, which was undertaken in response to fears of invasion by the French under Napoleon III. Would that have been Napoleon's grandson, wouldn't it, or whatever? I don't know. There's like a wagon there. It was like these sorts of photos that you can look at the actual place and think, like here in 1890, so that's like, what, 130 years ago. There's a cart right there. All right. £9 per adult, okay. Oh, okay, so we just pay once and then you could come back. Okay, cool. Look at him there in his, like, amazing uniform. I think that would suit me. Glass case here. This is a very fine looking gentleman. He's very tall. I mean, that said, he's on like, he's probably like a foot off of the ground anyway, but he's got his little medals there. Nice. Alright, just a little gift shop here where you pay. Picked up the souvenir like guide. Oh, nice. Can see AJ wearing that. Alright, so it was a pretty old regiment, wasn't it? But it all was, I think back in the 60s it was all like merged. I think, or 50s, it was merged, I don't know, something like that. We'll have a read, that would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, so it's like a timeline here. 1702, the regiment was raised, and it was known as the Foxes Marines. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through the whole in chronological order, but 1704, capture of Gibraltar. And basically, it just moves down through time. American War of Independence, so we were engaged in that. Through the Napoleonic era. And then you're going to have, like, yeah, so Sevastopol, so obviously the Crimea and all that lot. More Victorian times there, so 1877 was the 32nd Light Infantry. Alright, lots and lots and lots of history. And obviously World War I, World War II. And then, I think it was, I'm sure it was the 50s, it was merged with, yeah, 1959 it amalgamated with the Somerset Light Infantry. And then down in the 60s here, I think it was, I assume, got rid of. Yeah, 1969, certainly the last entry there, so, yeah, a few hundred years of history, that's for sure. So you're just like in the case underneath this like chronological history here. Got all sorts of fantastic badges here. Here's the red feather worn on foreign service helmets. The feather is symbolic of the 46th Regiment's involvement in the American War of Independence. Officers' cap badges, 1900 to 1959. Sealed pattern, War Office, 1904. Official samples of the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry officer badges. Made for the Director of Supplies and Clothing. Interesting. Oh, look at all that at the end. What's that, Sheldon?
That is an inkstand.
An inkstand? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, as stated there. Look at these uniforms here. Amazing. So vivid colour. Is that... What have we got here? Hang on. So officer's tunic. I said yes. I assume that's that one. So on display is the second pattern in inverted commas tunic, which replaced the original double-breasted coatee. Coatee. I'm not familiar with that word. This tunic was worn by an officer of the 46th Regiment between 1857 and 1868. This officer's coatee? How would you pronounce that, Shalbal? Just saying, I'm not familiar with that word. I said, like coatee. Coat? Coatee. Officer's coatee. 1829. You're not sure either. Oh no, I just noticed you've got a red coat on. Is it more pink? Yeah. Look at that, look at those like epaulet things. Oh yes, I think I could look very smart in a uniform like that. Another one there from 1829. Yeah, I think that would suit me. Got a map here with all the numbered locations of all the battle honours. So obviously they're Montreal. Again, I'm not going to go through them all, but that would have been up there fighting against the French. And then so Fort Niagara, Ticonderoga, blah blah blah. Moving down, Brandywine Creek is number 9. So that's like there's it states here 3 to 9. So obviously that corner of America. But also, I mean, you think like active. I mean, like obviously I know that we were fighting like down in, you know, like South Africa. That's number 51. So that is Paardeberg. So I assume that'll be Boer War.
Across to...
But then, like, all the way over here, like Birmingham, yeah. So, yeah, we us Cornish, we got about, didn't we? Not just our miners, our soldiers as well.
Good at scrapping.
Look at his funky costume. He looks cool, doesn't he? So Fox's Marines, this is what they were when they first started. Fox's Marines were the founding regiment of the 32nd Regiment, which later became part of Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry. Oh, named after Colonel Edward Fox, raised in 1702 in Sussex. Oh, okay, so like the regiment was raised elsewhere, but then it came here. A flintlock swivel gun. Crikey. Canister shot found in Gibraltar during, dating from the siege. You wouldn't want to be in the firing line of that, would you? Or, well, to be honest, with any sort of weapon, but... Flintlock blunderbuss. States here, portrait miniature. Copy there in brackets. This framed copy of the portrait miniature is of Lieutenant Charles Wallet, who served with the 32nd Regiment. So that's him there. A bit glared on the glass. And then that is his little prayer book during his service in Gibraltar, like 1807. Huh. There's a little watercolour here, states here, Private Stallard served with the 32nd Regiment in Canada in 1830 to 1841, so 11 years he served there. He sailed for India on the 30th of May, 1846, but sadly died at sea before the ship rounded the Cape of Good Hope. At the time, it was common for soldiers' wives to travel with them, which must have been a comfort for them both. Some medals here awarded to Corporal James Jennett, who was one of 3 soldiers in the 32nd Regiment to be awarded the Military General Service Medal with 9 clasps, and the only soldier in the regiment to receive 9 clasps on the Waterloo Medal. I assume those are referring, like the clasps, I assume that's that. Again, a little bit glare by the glass, states here, officers' wings. The Grenadier and Light Companies within a battalion were distinguished by wearing wings opposed to epaulets on the shoulders of their tunics. Don't like the look of that pointy end. It's an actual letter written by Florence Nightingale. How about that? Huh. Okay, just moving into the next room. Certainly loads of like artifacts and stuff. You could definitely. It's not a huge museum, but you could. But there's a lot in it. You could certainly. I mean, we are reading, obviously, kind of off camera as we're going around, but there's a huge amount to like take in and whatnot. Yeah. Got this little diorama here. States here, Captain Bernard McCabe's last sortie. This model depicts the last sortie of Captain Bernard McCabe of the 32nd Regiment. In this model, McCabe is leading the charge. He is a red uniformed soldier carrying a rifle. Take that to be him. Interesting. Standard issue baby's crib. This type of crib was issued to the military families who were serving abroad. That's interesting, isn't it? Little baby. Got a Martini Henry carbine. This is a shortened version of the standard service rifle of the period. It was used by mounted troops Do you think I would have made like an awesome mounted troop? One thing you can always like guarantee and like rest assured is the fact that we were always somewhere in the world out fighting. You know, people will say, well, that was for the good of the empire, for the good of Great Britain and this, that and the other and blah, 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 and it made us a very rich country. Others will obviously see the other side of that where, you know, we were just out there to control and dominate other countries. Yeah, whichever way you like to take it. There was a reason, wasn't it, in the D.C.L.I. we always spelled sergeant with a J. There's a reason for it, isn't it? Because obviously
the G is the French for servant, and they were servants to no one.
Because normally you'd spell it with a G, wouldn't you? Obviously sergeant, but we spelled it with a J in the D.C.L.I.
So that it wasn't derivative of the word servant.
See like little holes on his shoulders where like the epaulets would have been. Very stylish. I think that's probably a bit more practical though. Nice German helmets. Interesting. Little diorama setup of a World War I trench. So I assume you've got like your Germans on this side, British on this side. Of course, your trenches were never like a straight line, they were always like that. Your support trenches, etc., going behind the lines. Same principle, I guess, on the German side. A couple of uniforms here from the First World War. It's an officer's one, isn't it? That one, service dress, Great War period. Yeah. There's our cat badge there. Do you want to like roll those drums off and drum them? Do you drum a drum? You beat a drum, don't you? Beat. Little memorial here to Harry Patch, the last fighting Tommy. So Harry Patch was the last veteran of World War I. It's quite amazing. Served in the D.C.L.I. Born on the 17th of June 1898. Died 25th of July 2009. Cross there. Henry J. Patch. Rest in peace. He had a very long life. But yeah, here it is, last survivor of, or last veteran of World War I. Served for D.C.L.I. Kind of like nightmare fuel, isn't it? Imagine looking at that coming towards you. Now we're kind of more in the Second World War, 1939 to 1945. Tunic there. States here what's on this jacket. Lots of bits and pieces there. This jacket called 1940 Battle Dress, or BD. It's typical of uniform worn by soldiers in the Second World War. Literally so much here to document. We're obviously not filming everything here because it would be an extremely long video. But suffice to say, there's a huge amount of stuff here. Wanted Cornishman. I'm here ready to serve.
What role do you want? You'll be a quartermaster.
Quartermaster, yeah, he sounds important. So tempting. So we go up the stairs now. There's like a, what's it say there? A gallery, an exhibition, more, yet more stuff. here at the Bodmin Keep. Just looking out the window, that's the main entrance. Down there we can have a little look in some of these. There's like a cell down there which we can have a look at in a minute. Alright, here we go, even more stuff up here. Yes, very distinguished. That would suit me, wouldn't it? That would definitely suit me. Light Company St Ives Volunteers, 1790. Look at that. Go in the front, we're a little bit glared there with the glass. 3rd Royal Cornwall Local Militia, 1808. Yes, I think this suits me. I mean, you probably wouldn't wear like a hoodie underneath, but... I like it.
You can't button it up though.
Well, my hoodie's a little bit... I could actually button it up, but the hoodie is...
Well, you look very distinguished. I think you're a bit too undisciplined for the forces though. There's a whole selection of different ones that you can try on.
Yeah. Put this World War II one on. Oh, well, it's not itchy. I can feel that it would be itchy.
Yeah, they're woolen, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if they got wet, they would have been incredibly heavy.
Heavy. Oh.
Note that he hasn't had the common sense to take his hoodie off. He's just layering everything over it.
Do
But it'd keep you warm though.
Yeah. Do you like this one? Oh, there's a mirror. I didn't realise there was a mirror.
Very smart. Although you need to do your epaulets up.
Yeah, they're kind of like...
Flapping about in the wind. Very nice. Hang on, he's found one that he likes.
Yes, I'm going to get it off the hook. Hang on, let me just put my hood up there a minute so it's not in the way. This...
Oh, very smart.
is awesome. Oh, yes.
It's very nice. See that in that with some dress trousers on? You'd look very handsome.
Do you think so?
They're not meant to be done up. Not like tight.
Okay, so moving away from from the fancy dress part, we've got a helmet there, that's quite heavy. I won't put that on right now. This guy hasn't got his boots on, what the heck? And he's obviously got a twin brother, because they're obviously identical. Literally turned around, you've got like a fake rifle pointed at me.
It is just wood.
Yeah, is it like...
I presume a training one.
Is it like, what, is it quite weighty?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I expect it's probably not, no. Definitely not as heavy as the real thing. Ah. Look at this guy, like all like in his snow clothes. Huh. Second World War era Home Guard. You see like Captain Mannering, I can see Captain Mannering coming in now. Funny thing is about the Home Guard, my nan remembered, well, I mean my nan has passed away now, but she always used to say that the Home Guard in real life were exactly as they were in Dad's army, which I think's hilarious. Very smart. Shellbell, does this museum and hearing that bugle, does it give you the urge to rejoin the army? A piece here of the Berlin Wall, built August 1961, demolished October 1989. Huh, there you go, the actual Berlin Wall. How about that? Okay, I've lost Shelley. I don't know where Shellbell is. Aha, found you. Oh, is he the guy who like founded
The
guy that is that the dude behind you? Is that the dude? So John Moore glared out there with the lights. So what did he do?
He was like the inventor of light
infantry tactics. Okay. Yeah, look at him. He's got a bit of a sore head, isn't he? Right, so we've exited out of the back. We came in that way. We'll go back through there on our way out in a minute. And there is a mock-up World War I trench, which will be interesting to look at. So we're here on the duck boards. Is this a duck board? It's like a duck board, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a little look at what a World War I trench would have been like. How awful. I expect they would have been a lot more muddy. I know obviously you had your duck boards and stuff that you were on, but can you imagine being in something like this in the height of winter with all the rain and... Ah, greetings.
Greetings. You've got your little bed.
Yeah.
Kind of a mirror.
Kind of a mirror, like a shattered piece of glass. So bunk beds, 2 beds there. Look, is that like a little rat?
Yes.
Yeah, hello, little rat. So he's got his helmet there on the side. They did say actually you could dress up, couldn't we? But
We've done enough of that today.
yeah, we have. Lieutenant J. Smith, D.C.L.I. He's got his little trunk down there. How hideous! I mean, you think, I mean, what a terrible war. I watched. I don't think you've seen it. Recently I watched that film 1917.
Yeah.
Which was yeah, it was interesting. It was a good film. I would recommend it. If obviously if you like that sort of thing. Okay, ready for the whistle to blow? Can you imagine, imagine here, like in position, all your gear, foot on the ladder, hand there on the ladder, and then you're waiting for it, and you hear the whistle, and you have to just go over the top, and you see a brand new housing estate. Yeah, as you guys know, if you've been watching the channel for a little while, I have been researching my family tree, and one of my ancestors who is of particular interest was a man called Andreas Nielsen, and he was half Norwegian, half Cornish, and he was in the Army Service Corps. So he was driving the trucks. He was 34 when he died. He did die as a result of injuries that he sustained in the First World War. And it's just quite interesting to kind of have a little look in that little section there with the trench to kind of, you kind of think, something similar to what he could have seen. Interesting. This is their car park, isn't it? It's obviously, there's very, very little space for cars. We've parked, so if you're like in that direction, if you know Bodmin, you'll know sort of where I am. There's a a council pay and display car park in that direction, which is quite sizable. So parking here isn't too big a deal, but if you try and park in here and it's full, you might be stuck. Right, so we're going to go back through, look at those cells.
And then...
Well, that's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah, interesting place though. So there is a little coffee shop in there, or stop, so a shop, a coffee stop. Ooh, maybe have a little beverage in a minute. Maybe off camera we can just sort of sit in there and enjoy a beverage. Got bathrooms here as well, and got the Bodmin office of the rifles. Look, the guard room. I don't think you can go in there because the door is closed. Yeah, a bit glared there with a glass, but yeah, no, that's just over here on this side, the regimental cells. Bagau Castle or something, whatever it is in Cornish. Regimental cells, this block of 3 cells was a key part of the entrance to Bodmin barracks. They were used for the short-term short-term detention of military personnel who had committed a disciplinary offence or a minor crime. Alright, so obviously these two cells are locked. Goodness, what is that? World War II paper press, okay. So those two cells are locked. Get in there, prisoner! Imagine just spending a few hours or a day or two in here because it's like,
laid out right, but I would fail my inspection based on that bed block.
You would fail your inspection based on the bed block.
So as part of your punishment, you would have to lay out your cell.
Yeah.
Like so, and then you would be inspected by
Someone.
whoever.
Yeah.
This bed would not pass that muster, would it? Look at it. Stripe should be going up the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it on the camera particularly well, but it's a red stripe.
Yeah, I can. Oh yeah, you can just about see. Yeah, you can see them.
So that should be in the middle.
Exactly in the middle. Yeah.
That's bed box is made poorly, but that.
Yeah, well, I suppose this can't be fiddled with because it's got a screen, little perspex screen. You see us actually more than the insides. But yeah, it's very not backlit, very glared. But obviously the possessions there of the incarcerated soldier. Oh, Shelley's gone. A super interesting place. Not the biggest of museums, but there is so much stuff in there, isn't it? You couldn't rush. You could rush around it, but you would miss everything. I know,
so
but
much. There's a lot in there, and it's very well done.
It is very well put together. You just follow the sort of like the rooms around, and it goes through the entire sort of chronological history, doesn't it, of the D.C.L.I. Yeah, really super interesting. Highly recommend. We're going to leave a video there. I do hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, smash the bell. Check us out on all of our socials at The Bright Side. So from us to you, cheers and gone.